All right, streaming on YouTube. Grawlix Nights. Let's do this, I think. Streaming on Helix Rock
I'm in.
Radio.
That's right. I think. Let's do this.
Grawlix Nights. Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse, I think.
Let's do this, I think.
I think.
That's the mark of confidence. You know you're getting
Yeah.
You know you're diving into a good show when the host is like, let's do this, I think.
Yeah.
I'm ready, maybe.
I think.
I am excited for tonight's show. You know what I should do? I should actually promote this show. I need to.
You know what? I got a feeling this is going to be a good one. We should save it. We should maybe not completely delete it immediately.
Right. 6 months.
That's it. Let's do a show, I think.
All right. Facebook. Let's go to Facebook. Isn't this great?
What? Man, they haven't seen us in forever.
I know. I post on the I think the Facebook groups, maybe it's just our groups, they're dead.
I haven't seen anything on groups for like ever. Like I think they stopped pushing group stuff out.
Yeah.
Or like it's there, but you have to like go to it yourself. You know, like even groups I know that are pretty active, like the Fremont discussion group or whatever. I don't see any of that. And I know there's some people trolling on there.
Let's see. I don't know. Facebook's it's crazy how echo chamber. I mean, I know it's the echo chamber, but how like hard it funnels your like main feed into one thing once you click on one thing. And it's like all of a sudden it's all that thing. I can scroll.
Facebook has become almost unusable for me because of all the nonsense misinformation stuff that's starting to pop up. It's like not even misinformation in like an important way, like misinformation in like entertainment way. Like so and so walked out on Jimmy Kimmel's. It was like Jack Black storms out, or Jack Black said this line and it shut the show down. You could hear a pin drop, and it's like that never happened. This whole thing is invented whole cloth, and there's like stories like that I'm just getting all the time. Like Zendaya shuts down The Voice.
It doesn't matter if it's true. They want your click for some reason.
Well, and but sometimes it's more than that, even because there was one I saw today that was like Germany's going to pull all of its gold reserves out of the U.S., which would have a huge economic impact on like the world probably. And then in the like article underneath, no, they're not going to pull it out. And if they do, they're going to do it very slowly so that it doesn't cause a panic like that. And I'm like, so why would you lead with the completely opposite in the headline? Because it's the
clickbait headline. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. But then like I'm even getting like articles that are just completely invented nonsense.
Oh, okay.
Like so-and-so's family is sick. It's like, it's sick that you're making that up. You know, and I can't tell you how many people who have died lately that aren't dead.
Right. That's I seen a YouTube video that was talking about that not long ago. I mean, it didn't dive too deep into it, but yeah, that's the whole thing. There's pages that just do that. Post like
but,
RIP things.
They rolled back all that stuff. They rolled back all the misinformation stuff, so they don't vet anything anymore because freedom of speech to just make stuff up, I guess.
But don't badmouth.
Oh no, don't have an opinion. Just make stuff up.
And the AI videos, I've heard it's bad on TikTok, but I'm never on TikTok. In fact, I had one or two. I had a couple accounts that I just never used, but I know I deleted one recently. but the reels, which are on Facebook and Instagram, like the AI videos of just like random things, like the huge snowstorm hit wherever, and then you look and it's like that's clearly AI. Like what? Why are you? Why do that?
Right. For attention. That's
Yeah.
all.
We talked a lot about really nobody. People have opinions on AI, and so that's how I know nobody listens to every episode of ours. I'll just say it that way. Not every episode gets a lot of listeners because nobody chimed in on. Was that last week or last episode?
We definitely had some things to say about it last episode.
Right, right. That would get people, you know, a little fired up, I think.
Yeah.
And as I've noticed,
I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm so sick of hearing about how everything has to be human made and whatnot. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but boy, if that's the only thing you have to say, muted.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like especially, and I come across that a lot on like Blue Sky and stuff, and it's like, dude, I followed you because you do cool stuff, but if all you're gonna do is complain about this thing that in the grand scheme of, I'm not saying it's not important, but in the grand scheme of things that are happening right now, maybe funnel your rage elsewhere. Yeah, I get tired of it. That said, so man, the AI videos and shorts are very tiresome. Because it's like clearly fake, and then you check the comments and occasionally it's good. The comment section's just like a lot of people calling it out, but then you'll get people who seem to be like earnestly like commenting on it. It's like, no, none of this is real. This is completely fake. That monkey's not running around holding a gun, or
right,
whatever. That monkey didn't fly off on an umbrella. Like,
this
is not real, grandma.
Media literacy, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Or just critical thinking skills, just that.
And you know,
like, if this is true, what else is true? Like, that's all you have to do is ask that one question, and that usually shuts a lot of stuff down.
Right. And I'm not saying there's not convincing stuff that, like, it's okay to get fooled once in a while, but like, you know, try not to be gullible necessarily. That's not what this show's about. It's amazing how often we start this show just waving our fist at the clouds of social media.
mad at people that are mad about things.
Yeah. Here's what we are going to be talking about. We'll vamp a little bit about some of the stuff we watch, but the main meat of this episode, I think, we're going to be talking about Berserk. This is something I've been waiting for a while. I'm very excited to talk about some Berserk on this show.
Yeah, but I think Berserk meat would be gross. I wouldn't want to eat it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that would just be like the guts of the animal. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's so interesting. Okay, whatever. We can't get to that yet. But first, how are you two doing?
Hey, we're here. It's cold.
Yeah.
Unexpected. It's the classic week. Man. You hit like what, 60s?
Yeah, it was almost 70. Almost 70 this week. Almost, not quite.
And then then they're canceling school because of
2 days in a row. I just got the call.
Tomorrow too?
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's maybe.
Which would be good because that would be my commute. That's the only thing I'm really worried about is can I get there? If I can't get there, I don't want school.
Right.
I don't want to use a personal day because I can't drive.
Yeah. You kind of get screwed out of
Sorry, the worst is when you're like almost there and then they cancel it. That makes me so angry.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, especially if they're, and that hasn't happened yet, knock on wood, but like, yeah, I leave, you know, it takes me a half an hour to get there. So if they don't call it pretty darn early, then I'm not going to get that info until I'm already out on the road.
Yeah. Well, because I used to drive buses, so we had to be there early enough to get to the kids stops before school.
Yeah.
So we had to be there at like 5 maybe even a little earlier sometimes. And yeah, sometimes they wouldn't call it till like 5:30, but if we got there before they called it, we got to pay for showing up, so that was good. But anyway, so we're doing great. How are you doing, Randy?
Wow. I'm okay. I'm fine. Okay. I'm not too bad. I feel.
Is this the first time we've ever asked him?
I don't know.
Can't be the first time, but it's one of the few times. It's
pretty rare. It is.
You usually don't have to ask me though, because I dominate. I'm talking nonstop every episode anyway, so it's fine. I've never even really thought about it, but you know what? Thanks for asking. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice. Feels good.
It's nice to be nice.
Yeah. Be proud of yourselves.
On the back.
Hey, I was trying to think of, man, what have we watched lately? We're just watching the same stuff, doing the same things.
Freerun
is back, season 2. It's great. They're finally catching up on English dubs for the season. There was a delay. I mean, I don't mind subtitles, but I need to get new glasses. An anime Freerun wouldn't be so bad because it's generally not a super fast-paced show. But if it's fast-paced and it's animation, I don't mind dubs. I kind of prefer them because it doesn't come across the way live-action overdub things do, you know?
Well, not only that, they talk so fast and they're moving so fast, you can't really pay enough attention to both of them at the same time to be able to have the full experience.
That's especially, action, and I found there's some comedy anime that's not overdubbed that I struggle with if the delivery is super fast. Yeah. But
sometimes they'll have flash a sentence up there and it'll like be there for 2 seconds in it and then it's gone and another one's up. Like, I'm sorry, I haven't learned to speed read yet. So I still have to like look at each word individually at least. You know?
Yeah, and the streaming subtitles can get so wonky sometimes. I noticed that a lot with Netflix. Netflix used to do it, but it still happens on Hulu and other services where it'll literally like the sentence will pop up and then disappear immediately. It's like, I think that was supposed to stay up a little longer. Anyway, Freerun, it's great. It's one of the best anime ever. We also just finished Dororo. Or Dororo.
What?
I struggle to roll my R's. All right. Listen, I'm not coming across this episode very intelligent, and I realize this. But we just finished Dororo from the 2017 anime series, which is based on a manga from the 60s, which I didn't realize it was that old. But it was also great. That's a strong recommend. Very lone wolf and cub, a little Zatoichi vibe. So it's got the Japanese historical drama sword fighting action thing going on. Which basically
my brain is like trying to grok the 60s vibe from like a comic book perspective, because like thinking about all the cheese-tastic 60s TV that we had in America. It's like, oh,
I'm curious. Well, the author of it I've seen referred to online as like the grandfather of manga. I don't know how long manga's been around. I'm assuming a while. From what I've seen of the manga, the art style is interesting. Definitely interesting art style. And there was a series, anime produced way back when of this as well, an adaptation. I imagine that's pretty stiff. Man, all animation from back, animated series, I should say, from way back when is pretty stiff. I've tried to watch some like even the 70s anime from the 70s can be a little bit of a rough go for me.
Was it like Astro Boy kind of stuff, or
yeah, Astro Boy is definitely
even
old stuff.
older, right?
Yeah, Astro Boy is pretty old. That's
yeah.
Yeah. In the 70s, you start to hit like Golgo 13 or whatever, where it's like James Bond-y type stories. They're starting to do stuff for animation for adults and stuff. So it's more like that kind of story, which is interesting, but like it still feels like a 70s cartoon. It's pretty slow.
Battle for the Planets or Battle of the Planets, that kind of stuff.
Right. It's in the 80s, 90s anime.
Then you get Voltron, and Voltron.
Right.
I mean, it was good at the time, but like it was.
Oh yeah,
Voltron was kind of boring, actually. You know, like when you think about, like if you go back to it,
a lot of 80s American cartoons are a rough revisit too.
Oh yeah.
Man, used to love them when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
watch them endlessly. But it's a lot of them are like pretty rough.
Thundercats is one that's like, oh man, I remember this being better.
Yeah.
The world's good, like the world building and whatnot, and that show is pretty good. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, then you compare that to like 80s and 90s anime, where it's like the audience is completely different. They're shooting for wildly different audience. There was stuff for kids still then at that point too, but
there's more like Hello Kitty.
There was, yeah, I suppose so, yeah. But then also I rewatched recently Ninja Scroll.
Oh yeah,
that's 93, and that's like a classic. Yeah. It's actually a good comparison with Dororo. Like if you like Ninja Scroll, you definitely check out Dororo because it's a samurai type story, but there's supernatural demon elements, yokai and stuff.
They spend a lot of establishing shots of him just walking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's essential for that kind of kind of thing.
Got to.
Ninja Scroll, like I'm kind of like lukewarm at best on that for some reason. Like the animation's great, but something about it just like I bounce off of it a little bit.
We just not very ninja-y.
No.
Dororo feels like an evil Pinocchio to me.
Yeah, the premise is really good. We don't have to get too deep into the weeds on that, I suppose. But basically, as always, we've been watching anime. I did start watching a live action show called Made in Korea. It's a Korean crime drama. It's not Japanese. Can't call me a weeb. They do spend a lot of time jumping between Japanese and Japan and Korea, but I did want to say one thing about it. I'm enjoying it. It's on Hulu and Disney Plus, I think. But I was telling Melanie this the other day. There's one scene in an episode that I was like, this is the perfect summation of what this show is. It's like the production's pretty decent. Still feels a little bit TV series. It's got cinematic moments, but also still kind of feels like, like a prime time drama, right? There's a scene where there's like a drug deal. Some like Yakuza types or some mafia types are making a drug deal in a hotel room. And at one point, the camera pans down to a microphone. It takes place in the 70s. A microphone. The room's bugged, and the camera pans over to the next room over, and there's a bunch of detectives in there with the listening gear, and they're ready to go. They're waiting for the drug deal. And then at a certain point in that room, the camera pans down, and there's a microphone. That room's bugged, and it pans over to the next room, and the Korean CIA's in there with their recording thing, spying on the detectives. So there's 3 rooms. There's the drug deal, the detectives spying on the drug deal, and then the KCIA, they call it, spying on the detectives. And I was like, that's the show in a nutshell. That's a perfect,
So basically Peacemaker.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Plays it a little bit more straight.
Bird blindness.
Ted plays it a little bit more straight, but yeah, it's that kind
okay,
of
all right.
ridiculous, like
They don't
agencies and
know. We know.
espionage.
They know. That we know.
Right. The first episode, they're talking. A plane gets hijacked, and then there's, of course, one of the Korean CIA agents happen to be on the plane, and he organizes a double hijacking from the hijackers, and I'm just like, this show, double hijacking, come on. Anyway,
Hijack me once, shame on me. Hijack me twice, can't hijack the hijacker.
it's good though. I like it. Made in Korea. If that sounds interesting to you, check it out. Jesse, you been reading or watching anything interesting?
I mean, that made me think of The Art Thief, but I think I already talked about that on this
Yeah.
show. Yeah. Yeah, and it was like, yeah, I almost enjoyed a true crime thing.
Right.
No, but last week we didn't have a show because I had parent teacher conferences all week, and basically I was brain dead. And the night before, I literally was listening to an audiobook and missed all my turns because everything's dark. And I wound up in North Bend, which that, to the people who don't know where we are, that has no context, but it's way off of where
it is
I
way
completely
off.
Missed my city. Yeah,
that's it. Like, I can see how it happens. I can picture the route you took, but it's not like you don't see Fremont while you're driving past.
No, I mean,
it's
it's there. Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah. It is there.
That's funny.
And I mean, like the big exits are pretty big, but I was just cued into this book. It's the same author that does Man Called Otto. I think I already mentioned that one. Is the movie based on the book. Frederick Bachman or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, it's called Anxious People. It's bonkers. It's like hard to like nail down the premise, but it's essentially like a hostage situation. But it's a hostage situation that wasn't supposed to be a hostage situation. It was supposed to be a bank robbery, and it was they just wanted money to pay their rent. Like it's like they're so down on their luck that they're gonna go rob a bank just so they can pay their rent. And then that goes awry, and it's because it's like a cashless bank, which apparently is a thing that must be somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember where these, maybe it's a Swiss thing. I don't know. Because like these stories don't take place in the U.S., but it's still like pretty relevant to a lot of things that people in the U.S. would deal with. But so the protagonist or whatever, it's focused around this caper gone wrong, where it's like, okay, well, that didn't work out, and now I've got to escape. And so what I escape to is an apartment viewing, and now I've got a hostage situation, and all of the people in the hostage situation are bonkers. Like, most of them shouldn't even be there, like why are we even looking at this apartment? One is a flipper, one just goes to watch people. That kind of thing. And it just gets more and more ridiculous. And it's called Anxious People, and it was a fun one, and I was so engrossed that I completely missed all my stops and wound up in North Bend in the middle of the night. And then I was like, oh, hey, you know what, it's gonna be another 20 minutes before I get home. I'm literally gonna get home and go to bed because I totally missed my exit. So I mean, if you like missing your stops on the bus or the train or anything, really, check out this audiobook. It's good.
Sounds wonderful.
Right? Other than that, the only thing I watched was the documentary about Mark Maron called Are We Good? And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like it's a documentary about Mark Maron, and it kind of heavily focuses on his grief and like what his last couple of shows have been about. Just basically like getting over the death of his partner.
Mm-hmm.
So this documentary delves into that quite a bit, but also goes back further and gives you a little bit of his backstory and kind of a little bit of like how the podcast was formed and that kind of stuff. It gives you decent flavor of that kind of stuff, which made it, it's not just all sad.
Right.
That would be miserable. I mean, because he's already kind of known for being such a curmudgeon and miserable. He's like the Dennis Leary template of comedian, like, yeah. But I mean, like, I really dig his shows. So
every time I mentioned Mark Maron to Melanie, she's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "He's the old miserable comedian you don't like." And she's like, "Oh." And I told her, like, Jesse watched the documentary. Why has he got a documentary? Yeah, it's like, because he's cool. And he's like,
yeah, he's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, but I'm cool. I don't have a documentary about me.
That's exactly what she said earlier.
It's a real problem, in the documentary community, is that they don't do enough documentaries about people who are cool.
Yeah,
like Melanie.
Like all of us
need to get on that.
They should just do a Grawlix documentary.
Oh my God, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
Was it? Wait, how many years have we been doing this? I don't even know.
A lot.
12 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a documentary on Comic-Con because this is their 10th year. So
wow,
we could have a documentary.
We're older than they are.
And we went to Comic-Con, so we could be part of that documentary. Call us up, guys. Call us up.
2 weeks, we'll have been doing Grawlix podcast for 12 years.
Oh man, birthday-versary coming up.
Coming up. That's gonna be a fun one, I think, or a train wreck. Either way, still fun.
Those are our best episodes.
Those are our best.
We're not quite sure about. Let's do a show. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Can I completely change the subject a little bit?
Okay.
Okay, just Jesse, behind you, let's see, be a year left. Is that a toilet seat cover? Or just like the toilet seat itself?
Oh, there's like a card.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
okay.
That's a no, that's a I've got a thing with like calendars. And so
that's a calendar.
It's funny. Okay. That's what Courtney and Louie got me for Christmas was it's a poop calendar. It's it's like poo happens kind of thing. So it's perfect for the Grawlix podcast because it's like kind of Grawlixy. So every episode, every month is a poop emoji. Something going on. Yeah. And
nice.
This one says let that S go. It's at the therapist's office. And so it's every month is a poo joke now.
My sister and we don't really hammer it every year, but we've had like a gag gift thing going on. My sister Heather and me, including one year, I think I received from her an actual dog turd. So like
an actual dog
turd. Which you really
can't top that, can you?
I mean, no. It's been in decline. That's the high point. But this last, I think our birthday, maybe it was supposed to be whatever birthday presents. I got from her 2 card games that are both poo related. One's fart related, one's poo related, and she's like, just to keep the theme going. I was like, I get it. But I opened the card game with the poo. And every card is like, I don't even know what the game is, but every card has a picture of different animal poo, like actual picture of poo. And I'm like, this game, I'm never gonna play this. This is disgusting.
It's like flashcards. It's like for the burgeoning scientists that want to be. You're like, listen, this is studying. I'm studying for my scatology review.
Scatology. So I don't know. I might have to hold on to that one and regift it back to her just so she can also experience that one. But I think it's reignited the poo gifts. I have to think of something good for her next year.
You've done some pretty good stuff too, because that one video game you made was great and it brought lots of laughs.
I did make her. I made her. That's the only game I've ever actually finished, like video game I've completed. the dog do game where you have to run behind a dog and pick up its poo.
Or you get arrested.
Or you'll get arrested by the park ranger or whatever.
Or you'll get arrested.
Yeah, you'll get arrested.
That's an authoritarian nightmare right there.
It's not even your dog.
Arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know it's ordinance, but wow, that's some heavy-handed, regulation.
Officer, that dog is a stranger to me.
Yeah, that's the line. Brady cracked up at it so many. Like every time he said it, he would crack up.
That dog is a stranger to me. It's just a weird thing to say.
Dog is a stranger to me.
Melanie, you got anything you consumed that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I consumed the same stuff that you consumed. That's about it.
Yeah, you did for the most part, I think.
Unless you want to talk about science in other YouTube type videos, that's not entertainment.
It's not.
It's like a React video without the video to react to.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case,
my love for you is ticking clock, Berserker.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into. We're gonna switch into Grawlix podcast mode, classic Grawlix podcasts, because this will eventually become an audio episode.
Yeah.
So.
Don't adjust your sets.
Nope. Welcome to Grawlix podcast. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
All right. Back for our monthly audio episode.
Ish.
We don't have a proper name for whatever this is because it's not the pull list. I mean, it kind of is the pull list, except we've just like taken any illusion that we're going to listen to.
It's the Grawlix podcast, Randy. That's what we call it.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
That's what we call it, man. The podcast is now when we actually read things.
When we actually read and discuss comic books.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's about Doctor Who because it's always been about Doctor Who.
That's true. Yeah. It's the podcast owes more to Doctor Who in its origins than it does comics, because that's really what's kicked it off.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we're not talking Doctor Who tonight.
No.
Instead, we're talking about Nickelodeon's Guts or Double Dare. No, we're talking about Berserk. We're getting more manga. So does this make, between this and doing Uzumaki not long ago, is this the most manga we've ever covered? Because I feel like we hadn't really covered manga before. Maybe we did something.
I think when
I'm sure we read something.
There was a period of time, I think, when we each got to just read our own thing and then talk about it, or maybe we just did. And I know I did manga at least once.
Yeah, maybe. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have some thoughts specifically on that, on manga as well, because even though coming out of Uzumaki not long ago, I had a harder time adjusting to the right to left read order getting into this than I did Uzumaki. And I think maybe it's just
when we get into formatting, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
Also, like, since we put that out, I saw like a beautiful library bound hardcover copy of Uzumaki in Walmart.
Oh yeah,
I was like, sure. Whoa, dang.
I mean, I guess that's a little surprising, but Uzumaki's is very popular.
Creepy.
But what we're going to be talking about tonight is Berserk, the Guardian Angels of Desire arc.
They have such sights to show you.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. Really, that's why I picked this arc. And because despite it still being kind of long, it was, compared to most other arcs in the series, it was more digestible. So this was my pick, and it's because I watched the 1997 Berserk anime not long ago and fell in love with it. And I think this is
that on? Is that on Hulu? Is that on
I don't
HBO?
know. I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere right now.
Well, I remember watching like 1 or 2 episodes of it somewhere. but I don't remember. And like that was quite a while ago, but I remembered it because I was like, oh, I remember the show. This is the one that was like oddly heavy metal while it was set in the medieval times.
Yeah, and the music was strange.
Yeah.
So it's a little dicey to find streaming, as is a lot of like older anime. This is probably not right, but apparently you can stream it on Netflix in certain regions, but not in the US, UK, or Canada right now. It's harder to find that one. It's easier to find. There are other versions. Like there was the Millennium Edition that kind of retold the same arc that the 97 one did. Produced several years later, with the same English voice actors for the overdub, which I appreciated. And then there's a 2017 series that is an abomination. Nobody likes it. You should not watch it. It's terrible.
All right.
Because it's, despite being popular, having a specific fan base, it doesn't have the mainstream enough appeal for anime studios to really put that much money behind it. And that was the problem with the 2017 version. They went all three like CGI, and it was really bad and rough. And there's some shows that can get away with it now, but they didn't on that one.
Right.
I will say, if there's old 90s, 80s anime series that you want to watch, you want to stream or download, and you can't find it anywhere else, archive.org, just search it up there. It's all there. It's all there.
Oh, yeah.
That's not necessarily like the legal way to do it, but if it's kind of lost media in your part of the world, do it.
There's a lot of stuff on archive.org.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff that I seldom think would be there or should be there. You know, like, I mean, a lot of D&D books I don't need to buy because they're just on archive.org. Somebody just scanned them.
Right. Which I know companies don't love. But I feel like, especially now, Berserk might be a different case. You can still buy it on physical. You could maybe even buy it digital somewhere. I know a company put out a really nice like Blu-ray remaster not long ago of the whole series. But there are a lot of anime, since I kind of got on my retro anime kick, I found you legitimately can't find anywhere because the companies that own the IPs went into bankruptcy and then sold off their various IPs multiple times over, and it's traded hands to the point where whoever owns it now is like, I don't even care. I don't care. It's be too much money to dig up the materials to sell the IP or license it, that it's not worth even bothering. So a lot of it just does kind of become lost media, at least in the digital sense. And a lot of that is up on archive. You want to go retro, there's a lot of VHS rips of that stuff on archive.
Wow.
Hit a certain vibe. Now, the most popular arc is the Golden Age. But what we're going to talk about is the Guardian Angels of Desire arc. And in the manga, that starts at chapter 3 and I think goes to chapter 7. Yeah. No, chapter 8. No, 7. 8. Sorry. And then it kicks into flashback mode after this arc, and you get Guts' backstory, and you discover who, like, the whole story with Griffith, who's introduced in this arc.
Right.
And
this was essentially 6 issues long, or how's this work?
Okay, so the versions we read, I specially sliced and diced some digital copies so that we just had this arc. Because if you want to read this arc, you need to get volumes 1, 2, and 3. Because it starts partway into volume 1 and ends partway through volume 3. they don't divide them up nicely in the volumes.
Oh, okay.
And so that's yeah. And since we did skip first 2 chapters, I felt like there wasn't. I felt like this was a good arc because it was still like one kind of contained story. It did set up the world. It answered, I think, maybe it delved into a few questions Melanie might have had after watching the anime. I don't know if it did or not, but we'll find out from her later. Kinda. Okay. But also didn't rely on stuff in the Golden Age arc if, Jesse, you never watched it, or it's been so long you watched it you don't remember it. So right. I definitely wanted to hit something that came in the manga before the Golden Age arc, but obviously there's still a lot of questions because it doesn't, like, the manga is interesting because I feel like, especially the first couple chapters, the original author, let's say his name and let's do it correctly. Kentaro Miura. It's not that complicated of a name, but I'm going to struggle with it every time. The legend, I feel like he started it and then was like, I need to come up with, like, why is this guy going around doing this stuff? What's going on? Like, his whole backstory.
Why is he so mean?
Oh, that's also super interesting in this too. He's a mean dude.
Yeah.
It is interesting because coming out of the Golden Age arc, which again is his backstory when he's younger up to basically a short time before this. If you read the Golden Age arc and understand that, like, yeah, he's going to be coming out of that, he's going to be in a bad mental space. But even reading, like, this early version of Guts seems a little off and weird compared to the Guts that comes after. Not to say he's not gruff, but like this arc in the first 2 chapters in particular, he seems way meaner than he does most of the story. Like, this is him at his, like, not most ruthless, but yeah, maybe most heartless.
He doesn't have much of a problem just cutting people in half.
Oh yeah, and that doesn't necessarily
Cloud Strife sword from Final Fantasy VII,
right?
Although this probably predates that.
Oh yeah, this was the beginning of this arc specifically was released in 1990.
Oh yeah,
it was late 80s when.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy didn't come out until, like, I don't know. I think it was out of high school or almost out of high school.
Is the thing where he's rides in a cart with a guy and his granddaughter? Remember, Randy? Is that before or after this?
That was before. Okay. So also, I guess a little further setup here. I also put together a summary of what you guys missed in the first 2 chapters. Like that in the first chapter, the little opening where it introduces Puck and talks about. I put that together just to, like, because you guys didn't miss much, but I was like, there's still, like, a few essentials, especially for, like, Melanie coming out of the anime. Puck is not in the anime at all. Puck's like he's a little fairy. I think they call him what though?
An elf.
An elf. They call him an elf
in the book. Yeah.
He's not in the anime at all, but he is, like, one of the main characters of the entire manga series. So I wanted to, like, include some information about that and just, like, what Guts' deal is that we as readers would know up to that point. And his whole deal is that he's hunting down these, like, demons. He's got a real bad attitude. This elf, this tiny pixie looking guy, follows him around. Guts does not like him very much, but the pixie keeps Puck keeps following him. And that's it. That's really all you know. There are demons and various monsters in the world, but especially at that point in time, it's not, and this actually plays a role much further into the series. People aren't really aware of it. Like, I mean, if they encounter one, they become aware of it, but it's not like a common, it's like a dark fantasy world, but it's not like the common person isn't used to like elves or
Right.
demons
Like low
or
fantasy, not high fantasy.
right. There's one other important piece of information, and it comes up in this story, but it comes up often, and it's almost always this exact quote. Sometimes it's just like the narrator of the comic, but usually somebody comments on Guts' sword, and they say, "It was much too big to be called a sword. Massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. Indeed, it was like a heap of raw iron." His sword is described that way every time some random person is observing him, and it's so funny to me.
You think it's supposed to be like a stand-in for something else? Mm.
I mean, some of the framing for sure. The way he holds that sword.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse, what did you know about this going in, and what are your initial impressions?
I mean, I had kind of forgotten about that I'd even seen any of it. But once I started in, I was like, like initially I was like, that sounds really familiar. And then when it started in, I was like, oh yeah, I recognize this. And really all I remembered though was that it was like super violent. like it was super violent, and I remembered the kind of what's the word? Like anachronistic
Sure.
quality of the anime, where like the music doesn't quite jive with the
right
with the setting or whatever, but it was in a kind of a cool way. Yeah, that's the main thing that I remembered was like, yeah, that he wasn't like super he was your kind of like prototypical angsty like anti-hero almost type of protagonist, where you're just like, well, nobody really likes him, or he doesn't like anybody, but he ultimately does the right thing kind of character. And that's really all I knew. And like the demon hunter thing, but like that's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's not, but it feels like in a lot of the anime that I ingested from, especially from that time in particular, it's like it's all about killing demons, you know, like even Ninja Scroll was basically about killing demons.
Yep.
It's like, he's a demon. You know, it's like, it's if something really bad was happening, it wasn't just like a dude, it was like demon.
It's so interesting because while they come into play towards the end of the Golden Age arc, the most, because it's been redone in anime form like 3 times now, the most famous arc of this is mostly played somewhat straight, with supernatural elements coming up a little bit later. But the manga really, and the original anime does this too in the first episode. Like he's killing demons in the first episode. But yeah, the manga throws you straight into like several chapters of like, yeah, he's that's his mission. He's killing demons. You don't know why. You don't know what the deal really, what these demons are. He's got this mark. He's branded with this mark that attracts demons and monsters to him, and you don't know what the deal with that is. Although I think this kind of explains the brand, this arc.
It basically just tells you that
yeah,
like he basically, it's like a magnet. It was like, yeah.
Melanie,
Yeah.
What were your initial impressions? And I know you just watched the anime, but what were you expecting going into this?
I was expecting kind of much this. I thought there would be more like, I guess he did have like somebody he got involved with, but I felt more like it would be like he would come upon like groups of people doing things and join them, or they'd ask him to help them or something like that. And I guess that kind of happened, but it's not. It was like less so than I imagined it would be.
Yeah, he's very much on his like on a loner journey,
Mm-hmm.
and Puck keeps tagging along, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just I was used to seeing him like in small groups with like mercenaries and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's how they met him and all that jazz. So I just figured it would be kind of like that, maybe a little bit.
Right. Right, because that's like the whole thing with the Golden Age arc is him joining the Band of the Hawk, and it's kind of what makes that whole arc so good is not, I don't want to, kind of family dynamics, but whatever, character dynamics and him being part of a group and how that works. So how do we approach this?
Tell the story or a summary or something.
Do we want to summarize through the story?
Sure.
So he shows up at a town. They're doing executions. Seems like they're just executing anybody willy-nilly. And it's because the count of this place, who's this big fat guy, is just
like a religious zealot
for heretics. He's executing heretics, but of course it's the classic thing of like he's just having people executed left and right. It's unjustified, and everybody's kind of like, hey man, this is not cool. And he's like, what, heretic? And then execute him. So like unchecked power, this guy running this city, kingdom, I don't know how big of this
authoritarian state.
Right. And Guts strolls in, and God, someone had their head decapitated, and he picks it up and is like, hey, who's this or whatever, and like just immediately starts trouble right in the crowd.
It's got a real thing about that, just like picking people's heads up too.
Yeah.
Like, even later on, it's like, hey, I knew this guy.
right. He's just got no respect.
No.
And
of course, moment.
Right.
It's kind of a head case.
Oh. And of course, so then guards go to fight him and whatever. He comes across, I'm trying to think of his name.
Weird guy.
Yeah, the weird
Argus
guy.
Or something.
What's that?
Argus, Vegas, Vagus, something like that.
Yeah. Does he have a name?
The little freak guy.
Yeah.
Just that's good enough.
Yeah, I don't think he's the bandaged man is how this wicked
Peter Dinklage.
It's not Peter Dinklage.
All right. But he'd play it well.
We were talking, that's the reference to something we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Toxic Avenger.
But he you know what? You're right. This guy has a very Toxic Avenger look to him too.
He does.
So yeah, Guts is fighting and killing a bunch of guards. He defeats this one particularly big guard, but ends up like he's got to escape. And this little bandaged guy who looks pretty gnarly is skulking through the sewers. We see him observing Guts, and he's like, hey, come this way. Come, I'll help you. Come this way. And so he leads Guts and Puck down to his little basement dwelling laboratory, whatever it is he does there, and reveals his face. And it is gnarly, super gnarly. And his whole story is he had at some point worked for the Count. The Count apparently at one point was like a decent dude until he found a behelt or a beherit.
I don't know what that is.
It's an egg with a weird jumbled up face on it.
It's a face egg.
It is. It's a face egg, which is a reoccurring things in this world, in the story.
Some kind of magical artifact that no one should have.
Yes.
Yeah, and they always just you find them somewhere. Yeah. That's how they come to you.
They find you. That's right.
Right.
You boiled it. We came. I was trying to think of like Hellraiser box parallels to the egg earlier. And he's like, yeah, I used to work for this guy. He found the egg. He became basically a monster, and he was just ruthless and murdering people and eating people. And I don't know if the bandage man was going to like try to move against him or something. I don't remember what the deal is, but he fell out of favor. And so the guy ate his family in front of him and started eating him, the bandaged man. But the bandaged man got away. So he's been this whole time in the like skulking about trying to plot some kind of revenge. And he's like, hey, Guts guy, I feel like and their missions totally align because Guts is like, he's there to find people like this count and murder them. That's like his job at this point. To kill the demons.
But he's got a real problem. He's got a real like oppositional defiant problem where he's like, oh, you want me to do that? Ha! I'm nothing like you. I'm not.
Yeah. He's unreasonable. He's an unreasonable D-bag throughout all of this because it's like,
yeah, he is.
Just work with the guy. It gets skipping over some stuff. I will say, like, Guts gets the egg from the guy, the face egg. And I don't remember how it comes about, but the bandaged man gets captured and he's going to be executed. And Puck's like, and Guts and Puck are over on the side just like watching. Puck's like, you got to help this guy. And I don't remember exactly what Guts says, but Guts is basically like, no, it's not my problem. It's got nothing to do with me. Especially after I think the bandaged man had kind of helped out Guts at least twice at that point. And so the whole time, and Puck is very emotional. That's his thing, at least early on. Later, he's just a comedic sidekick. But he's kind of, I like the dynamic. He's clearly supposed to be like a moral compass for Guts. But at the same time, Guts is like, I don't need no compass. I don't need you. Right. Get out of here.
I didn't ask for any of this.
Yeah.
Puck is super messed up about it. He's super upset about it. And they execute the bandage man. Guts does nothing, and it's pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple frames or a couple panels where it's like he feels bad about not doing anything, but still, what's that do?
Sure. It's almost like he would have maybe tried to help him if Puck didn't show up and try to make him feel guilty about it. It's like if Puck wasn't there, maybe Guts would have saved him. I don't know.
You have a point about the oppositional thing because it's like, yeah, maybe he would have if he had been pushed to. Maybe he'd have done it just because.
He did point out the fact that it was an obvious trap, but
yeah. That's true. I'm curious, Melanie, what did you think of this? Because for me, being familiar, like he's always been like a selfish kind of dude, but like this is after all the Golden Age stuff. It was super jarring to see him this kind of cold-blooded.
Kind of, but we didn't really get to see him interact with the rest of the world that much. We saw his like you said, family dynamics. But he didn't really care. I don't think he murdered people left and right. That's like all he did is murder people. So I don't think he's necessarily as kind-hearted as we might think he
right.
He murdered children, before all this.
And he'll do it again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's true. This is true. I don't know where his moral compass lies, but it seemed like he had some kind of moral compass. Like this dude was trying to help him out, even if maybe for selfish reasons. Still,
it's like, yeah, I don't want anybody to kill this girl that I'm going to bang later. That's his moral compass.
His moral compass is actually for mushrooms, like that kind of moral.
Oh, I
He
see.
just needs a truffle pig, and then he'd be set. Him and Nick Cage would have a lot in common.
At one point, the Count guy somehow turns the big guard that Guts had whooped earlier into like a demon type creature, or inhabited him somewhat. I feel like I'm missing some things. What do you guys?
Demons are weird because they don't really explain it. It was just like, oh, I'm gonna make you like a demon guy too.
Yeah,
But
I
he's
think
also not like super high on the demon food chain. We find out later. So
I think he like they have like it's like vampiric almost. Like they get some like demon juice, and then they can give some of their demon juice to somebody else and make them a little bit demony, something like that. But he made that guy
demon juice.
Yeah, he made that guy a demon before that. But during or around or after the execution, he sent Puck up to the castle. I don't know if he's supposed to be just finding stuff out, and he met the daughter of the Count guy. And they're gonna try to use her to get inside or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. So we meet the Count's daughter, and she has been forever locked in her room. Not forever, but at one point we get some of the backstory on the Count. His wife, he has got a daughter, and he had a wife, and his wife died somehow. We don't find out how at first. And ever since then, he's pretty much kept his daughter locked in her room because it's too dangerous outside. To the point where, like, the Count gets a hold of Puck at some point and basically throws Puck in a cage and gifts it to his daughter. And we get the sense that his daughter wants to leave, but also she's scared to leave because it's dangerous out there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like Puck tries to save the old man, but winds up knocking himself out.
Right.
And then they catch him, and we're like, yeah, here's a pet.
Oh, okay. That's what happens. Okay.
Pretty early into this. So you guys have read this more recently than I have. I've refreshed myself a little bit, but I've read, the entirety of the original author's run of this since I read this arc. I just kept going. I didn't stop. But we do end up getting more into like the demons and their deal. And do they call them the God Hand in this?
Yes, yeah. But we don't really know what that means much.
Right.
He was fighting he went in to fight the Count, and it was fighting him, and the Count was dying, and then he grabbed onto his little egg face and was like, help me, no. And hell opened up. Hellraiser, bam.
Yeah, we get is it MC Escher?
Yep. I was just to say, like, hell is MC Escher, apparently.
Yeah. And as soon as that popped up, and then you see the various God Hand people, demons, standing around at the different angles on the stuff, that's when I was like, oh, yeah. No, this is just Hellraiser. And it kind of is. It kind of is. Like, you expect the brainy looking one to be like, you opened it and we came. We have such sights to show you. And out of curiosity, I looked it up, and Hellraiser was definitely an influence on the author.
Cenobites.
Yeah. The demons are very Cenobite-like. It feels very Hellraiser. I will say, in the long run, it's doing its own thing. It doesn't necessarily like hit Hellraiser too hard overall, but they're definitely strongly influenced by that kind of look and vibe, and the idea that instead of the the lament configuration, the box or whatever, it's these eggs, or this egg.
Well, like, only two of them look completely human. The others kind of look like weird face slugs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of slug stuff going on in Japan.
Right. It's true. It's true. What were you gonna say, Melanie?
I think something like the eggs are opened by suffering or something like that.
Right.
And yeah. And that's how we got Griffith too. Was because of one of those things.
We are introduced to Griffith because when Guts sees one of these demons who looks very hawk-like, he gets very angry and upset, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you!" And you're like, "How do you know this guy? Who's this guy?"
Yeah.
Well, can I tell a little bit of the lore-ish?
Maybe.
Just the okay. So the egg opens with suffering or whatever, and then they ask you to make
Okay, I'm sorry. Go
to
ahead.
make a sacrifice.
Okay.
That whoever opens it up, that comes into play here too, because he has to. They ask him to sacrifice his daughter. Well, Guts is one of the things that Griffith. No. Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
That Griffith sacrificed. That's why he has his sacrifice mark.
Right.
That's why the demons are always after him.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's easy to gather from this.
Okay.
We're just getting into spoilers for other arcs a little bit.
Well,
but I think it's kind of obvious, I suppose. Yeah, the brand that Guts has that attracts them is like the brand of the sacrifice or whatever. And
sounds very on brand.
It's interesting because the Count had clearly already made some deal. He was no longer human. He was a demon, and he could transform into a big, weird demon blobby thing.
Jabba the Hutt.
But he still was able to use the egg to call them forth and ask them for a favor. And so they wanted another sacrifice from him. So I guess you could do it multiple times, I suppose. And at that point, we get the actual backstory of what happened to his wife, and why he was so all about taking out the heretics, because he had left it. We get flashback, and he had left to do something, fight a war, do something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a war.
And when he came back, he found his wife in basically a giant satanic orgy, complete with huge Baphomet statue with naked chicks like hanging from it, in his castle while he was gone.
Yeah, they don't believe in like gradual escalation of plot in Japan. I don't think. It's just like, just blink and like, oh, I came home early, and you like, oh, maybe she's probably like hooking up with some dude. Nope, total orgy and Baphomet.
Yep.
It was so surprising to me because I was trying to think of how to like put this into words earlier, because a lot of the imagery, like, it's not necessarily imagery in the series that you've never seen before. You know, the whole setup with the God Hand demons are very like Hellraiser and stuff. Eventually gets into a lot of religious stuff, but even the religious stuff is like not Christianity. It's whatever religious thing this world has. So it's very interesting to me to see like, oh no, that's just straight up Satanist imagery. Like, it's not this world's version of Satanist. That's just like, you look at it like, oh yeah, no, that's Satanist stuff. That's Baphomet. That's the goat statue thing. Like, it just seemed very strange to me.
Yeah.
Well, and that gets into a little bit of like how they use imagery in the work, especially in this arc. I mean, I can't speak to the entirety of the series, but like there is kind of a hodgepodge of things going on. It's even in terms of styles, because they will go straight up full chibi kawaii.
Yeah,
like when Puck gets knocked out, he just turns into one of those little teeny miniature versions where it's very, very chibi, you know. And so it's like pulling from different kinds of anime and different kinds of manga all in the same thing. And then like even when there's like a chapter break, they go super stylized and rendered with shading and the whole 9 yards. Like, so yeah, you got your weird Satanism imagery, you've got your little chibi guy, you've got your Cenobites, you've got like the classic medieval look too, and they play pretty straight there, like the castles and whatnot look very authentic to the period and to the time. They're not like like we mentioned, they're not really high fantasy. You're not looking at like a
Right.
Disney castle here. You're looking at like like an oddly European castle.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I just said yeah.
Yeah, I did want to talk about the art for sure. You got to talk about the art because Mira's artwork, um I feel like this part, uh the beginning chapters into this, like it's really good and it's detailed, but I was like feeling overwhelmed. I was like, it's almost too much. It felt, I don't want to say it's muddy, but it felt muddy. One thing, I tried to find as many of the color pages as I could because some of the chapters, especially when it would go to like a in black and white, it looks like more painterly instead of the like ink and the standard ink line work. When they were originally published, a lot of those pages would be color, like he'd do full color. And in this arc in particular, I think is kind of an outlier in that, like, I think one of the chapters, almost half the thing was originally color, which is rare. Normally it'd be like a couple pages at the beginning of a new chapter. But those were in the original publications, but in the republications, most of the color pages just were republished as black and white. So they do have a different look, more different shading. The other thing I found is, and it's partially, there's a lot of crowded castle area, inside the crowded area, in a sewer, in these little dark rooms. The artwork in this whole arc feels very cramped to me. And I appreciated it, but at my first read through, I was like, it's kind of hard to absorb. It's kind of hard to take in, and it looks great, but also kind of unpleasant. And as the story goes, there's definitely settings and stuff that are just as dark, if not darker. The story gets way more depraved than anything we see in this arc. And like epic in scope in terms of like just mass misery, just crazy imagery. But I do think the art gets cleaner in a way, or at least finer. And Miro is like famously known for being obsessive with the fine details, to the point where there's an anecdote about when he finally switched to digital. Supposedly, his team had sold him on like, you can be more efficient, you can zoom in and get finer detail, to the point where eventually they had to like, they'd come in and he'd be like hours like moving pixels, right? And they'd have to be like 4 times zoom. That's your cutoff. You cannot zoom in farther than that.
Yeah, because there's no reason to. Yeah, and no one sees any of that.
You see a lot of that like attention to detail here, but I think this is maybe, it's not ugly, but this is like the muddiest looking I think the art is, and it kind of just does get better and better. As for like mixing styles, yeah, first off, the world is very like gritty, grungy, European fantasy, a realistic European type fantasy setting. And Puck. Puck shows up, chibi style. I've seen people turn his various like reactions in that style into emojis, and it works really well. He does that occasionally. One complaint people have, and I kind of agree, is after a certain point into the series, and this, by the way, this went on, he worked on this for like 40 years till the point he died. And then since then, his friend has taken over. based on the author's Mira's original notes. But like he worked on this for 40 years. At a certain point, you don't see Puck outside of that form anymore. Like it becomes rare to see normal looking Puck. He's just chibi Puck all the time. Towards the end, and he's comic relief, especially once I feel like the Puck dynamic works when it's just him and Puck, because Puck is supposed to be kind of that moral compass. Eventually, Guts does kind of form a party. Puck's gone through the whole next arc after this one, though, because that's flashback stuff. But once it gets catchbacks to present time, Guts does start to kind of amass a new party, right?
Mm-hmm. And then Puck, that's the comic relief. That's kind of like the Melanie clock. That's like, okay, come on, we'll kick in.
Right. Well, we probably shouldn't have talked so long at the beginning of this then.
I'm sorry.
How long have we been going? Nobody. Okay, an hour 15. Anyway, the point at a certain point, yeah, he is comic relief to the point where he's wearing like a hat that is Jar Jar Binks's head, doing Star Wars quotes, like ridiculous. Oh, wow. Because Guts will be interacting with other characters, and Puck's just like in almost every panel, just cracking wise. They kind of end up with a few characters where like there's just this constant, and it's in
so he almost becomes like
it's in
Deadpool
smaller text
kind of thing, or
kind of gets very meta. There's a smaller text, and at one point, at a couple points, he's even like, "What am I even doing here?" Like, well, one of the other little characters is then like, well, I mean, if you're not here to crack jokes, then frankly, this gets too dark, and the publisher doesn't like it. Like, they just say it outright. So, right. Early Puck is kind of the best Puck, and it is a little bit of a bummer that he just gets relegated to running commentary while the like dark stuff is happening, but it's interesting. Okay, Melanie, what next then? How do we wrap this up? Because
we can say the conclusion of the whole story, and then how we felt about it. Which the conclusion was, they told him he needed to make a sacrifice. He found out about his wife, and then they told him they wanted his daughter, and he could not make a decision. So they were like, "Okay, well, never mind. Then we'll just suck you into hell," and that's what they did. And then, and that was pretty much it.
Right.
Oh, and Guts had been real messed up too in the process. He was like half dead.
Oh yeah, Guts was real
like a few times.
Yeah.
This whole, meanwhile, the daughter that never left her room, was witness to then this like revealing of the backstory of what actually happened to her mother. Yeah, the demons were like, "Give us your daughter, or we're gonna take you," and he couldn't decide. So they took him, and Guts did save her, but also like
she kind of wishes she hadn't been.
None of this really like came up until he showed up, and also like part of saving her was also using her as bait. So at the end, she's real messed up about it, and she's clearly upset. She's upset at Guts, and Guts is like, "Go kill yourself." And Puck's like, "What are you doing?" Man. And I think it's Guts trying to be like tough love, but no, it was just too much. And she's like, "I'll see you again someday, and I'm gonna kill you. Like you're horrible." And he's like, "I saved you." And
yeah.
She's having none of it. She's like, "Kill Bill vendetta on you." And then Guts is walking. He's like, "That's fine by me," or whatever. And then he turns. He's walking away, and he's got a little tear going. Like he's got some emotions in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you guys think?
I liked it, but I liked the, what I had seen before of it, and that's totally my type of story with demons and horrible things.
Yeah, it's good. I really dig on the art. I mean, like like when the demon is made out of just like arms and stuff. Like there's these panels where it's just like all these arms, and it's like the demon is coming to get you kind of thing. And I'm just like, that's crazy.
I think I struggled most with all the detail in the dark settings, and there's a lot of them in like, and it's rendered so well. But I feel like the art improves a little. Not that it's bad here. I think he was already like a master at that point. Mira is so good at anatomy because think about other comic books or manga where the artists are good at drawing people at different angles, but you'll see a lot of the same stock angles. Mira could draw any character from any angle, weird angles, whatever, and it's like immaculate every time.
Except for that horse. His face was not normal.
That's intentional, though. We'll call it, that has been dubbed, a nice way to put it, sexual assault horse. That is a horse possessed by a demon who's got a very dirty look on his face.
Yeah.
But speaking of horses later, the story also goes to like grand battlefields and stuff. All the horse work. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. The artwork is amazing. This is maybe my least favorite part of the story in terms of artwork, but yeah, it's great. I like I said, I read hundreds of chapters of this after I read this. I couldn't stop.
You know, we usually say, who's it for? I would say it's very violent. So if you don't like gore, it's not for you.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. No, I wouldn't say yet, Melanie. Yeah, it is very violent. And the story gets and beyond just like the violence, especially if you keep reading on the story, there's some pretty upsetting stuff. It goes to some pretty dark places. Not to say there's not fun to be had occasionally, and it's not always just through Puck's commentary. And the story does kind of lighten up a little bit as it goes, but be prepared for some darkness, some real darkness, dark night of the soul stuff. But otherwise, man, yeah, it's really good. Melanie, would you recommend this? What would your mom think of this?
My mom would love it. My mom loves gory stuff.
Oh, that's true. She does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I would recommend it to probably more boys, because boys like that kind of stuff more than girls do in general. Or girls that like dark stuff. If you like Hellraiser, that's a good bet.
Yeah, it does have a Hellraiser vibe.
It does seem to be, at least the manga the anime is very popular with boys and men. But Guts is a big muscle guy with a ridiculously large sword. So of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it also seems what I've seen of them seem kind of sexist. But if you kind of understand that that's just some people's perspective, especially of certain time periods and, whatever, then, it's okay.
Oh, and excuse me. And that's definitely a debate that could be had to read further into the series too. Not that whatever, just the way it treats women, the women characters. There's a debate to be had there. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening to Grawlix Podcast. You hear more at grawlixpodcast.com. It's GRAWLIX podcast.com. Now, wasn't that amazing?
That was amazing. Do you know what else is amazing?
No.
I'll tell you. It's deer. Because there's some new research from the University of Georgia that discovered that deer leave more than their scent when they rub against like trees and brush in the woods. They also leave ultraviolet markings and even kind of a faint trail that will linger along their path as they walk, just for a period of time though. But the mark where they like actually rub on, but that will stay for a long time. And since previous studies have confirmed that deer can see in the ultraviolet spectrum, those marks are visible to them. And it's unclear if the glow comes more from like their antlers, fur, or urine. But either way, it's the first time that scientists have proven that animals use bioluminescence to communicate with each other. So that's fascinating. And there's a lot more scientific information in the Science Learner article that I got it from, but nobody's here to learn, so I left that out. But if you want to learn more, let us know and we can leave a link or something.
Thank you.
We're here for a little bit of the ultraviolets.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Hey, Jesse, you got anything exciting going on?
I mean, I got a show coming up in about 2 weeks, but that'll be in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Constellation in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Cool. Constellation. Yeah.
Constellation.
I remember
Been
going
doing
to
that one for a
Constellation.
minute.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
I think there's only really been two cons that Grawlix podcast is like covered where we've all been there in person at some point. And that was the first one, I believe. It was one of the Constellation. Yeah. I will be doing the usual Edge of the Abyss tomorrow here on Helix Rock Radio. I say here because you can also hear Grawlix podcast Thursday nights at the same time we're streaming on YouTube on Helix Rock Radio, rockradio.live. And tomorrow night, same time, Friday nights, 8 p.m. Central. Come listen to some extreme metal with me. Last week, I finally made good on my promise to do all female fronted extreme metal bands. For Melanie had made that request.
And he did it for Valentine's Day, sort of.
Yep. It was a very good show, I thought. I liked it a lot. Melanie, you got anything exciting you want to mention?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do I have anything?
I
don't think so.
You got all the things, but they're it's too exciting and too cool to let any of the losers online know.
Yeah, that's right.
I think. That's a runner. You got to bring it full circle.
I think. Hey, that was a good show. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a show for you. I think.
Melanie was right to try to wrap it. It just. I know we're still on air, and this is behind. I never know like how bogged down to get with the summaries when we do these damn reviews, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like I should have maybe found a summary or wrote a like one paragraph thing or something, but it's hard to go through a story and really discuss it that way. But yeah.
And for as little words as there are in it, there's like a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
lots of panels of no words at all. Sometimes it's just symbols or whatever to let you know some kind of weird sound is happening. And then it's just like he's chopping dudes up, but a lot of stuff happening.
Oh, yeah.
Visually dense, and there's a lot of action. It's not a lot of dialogue, but there's a lot of visual information going on.
The opposite of us.
Yeah, especially right now, there's no visual information going on.
Right.
And
we'll make some nerd sounds at you for sure.
Oh yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. Thursdays can get bent. I'm ready. I think.
Still bent.
Yeah.
Let's sign off Helix Rock Radio first. Bye, Helix Rock Radio.
Bye.
Don't forget, we've been Randy, Jesse, and Melanie. There's 3 of us on the show, Brandon. He never mentions Melanie when he's talking to me about the show. Weird. Okay, that's off. YouTube. Bye, YouTube. Have a great time.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye. You'll remember me.
You'll remember me.
Well, that's the funny thing is like, I think to everyone else who's ever listened, Melanie's the one. Melanie's the one.
I am the one.
They always, man, they bring up Melanie because it's like she does the hot takes. She's the one. She's one with the t-shirt slogans.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, end stream. Okay. Still says on air, doesn't it?